Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me here, and today we are going to be discussing a very controversial topic that has been in the news lately, and that is Ivermectin actually a miracle drug? Now, before we begin, I want to clarify that Ivermectin is not a miracle drug when it comes to COVID-19. As a matter of fact, there are no current studies showing any evidence that Ivermectin can be used to treat or prevent COVID-19. However, it is important to note that Ivermectin is an extremely effective and affordable medication when it comes to treating parasitic infections such as mites, lice, and worms. In fact, Ivermectin was named the best discovery for combating parasites by the World Health Organization in 2015. With all that being said, we are going to explore why some people believe Ivermectin could be a miracle drug, especially when it comes to mosquito-borne diseases like malaria. So stay tuned until the end of this video because I will be sharing with you why thousands of scientists around the world are calling for further research to be done on this miracle drug. But first, I would really appreciate it if you guys could hit that like button and subscribe, so that way you never miss out on any of our future videos. Alright, now let's dive into the topic at hand. So what is Ivermectin, and where did it come from? Ivermectin was discovered in the 1970s by a team of scientists at Merck Research Laboratories in the United States. Its initial use was as a treatment for parasitic infections in animals, and then shortly after its discovery, it was also approved for human use by the FDA. Since then, it has become one of the most widely used antiparasitic drugs in the world, especially because it is so affordable. There are currently more than 3 billion people around the world that rely on Ivermectin to treat river blindness, a disease caused by a type of worm. Now, Ivermectin is part of a class of drugs known as ivermectins, which are natural products derived from the fermentation of certain bacteria. These bacteria produce a group of compounds known as macrocyclic lactones, which have antiparasitic properties. One of these compounds is ivermectin. So how does ivermectin work? Well, it works by increasing the permeability of nerve and muscle cells in parasites, which leads to a loss of nerve function and eventually death. This effect is particularly strong on certain types of parasites such as nematodes, which are a type of worm that causes diseases such as filariasis, river blindness, and ascariasis. In 2015, the World Health Organization, or WHO, awarded Ivermectin the prestigious Lasker Science Prize, which recognizes outstanding contributions to human health in the form of medical research. The award specifically recognized the impact of Ivermectin on the treatment of parasitic diseases. The organization stated that Ivermectin is one of the most important drugs developed for fighting neglected tropical diseases. It has saved countless lives, dramatically improved the quality of life for hundreds of millions of people, and offers the hope of even greater benefits in the future. So as you can see, Ivermectin has a proven track record, and it is safe to say that Ivermectin is a revolutionary antiparasitic drug. Now let's talk about why Ivermectin is considered a miracle drug. Ivermectin has shown to be highly effective against a wide range of parasitic infections, including some that were previously considered untreatable. For example, Ivermectin has been used to treat onchocerciasis, also known as river blindness, which is a debilitating disease caused by a type of worm that can lead to severe skin conditions and blindness. Before the introduction of Ivermectin, there was no effective treatment for onchocerciasis, but since then, Ivermectin has been able to reduce the number of cases by more than 95% in some areas. Another example is lymphatic filariasis, a disease that causes swelling and disfigurement of the limbs. Again, before Ivermectin, there was no cure for this disease. But thanks to Ivermectin, more than 1 billion people have been treated, and more than 14 million people have been cured of this debilitating disease. And perhaps even more amazing is the fact that Ivermectin is so affordable. It costs less than $1 per treatment, making it accessible to people in remote areas who often have limited access to healthcare facilities and medications. Now, one of the areas where Ivermectin has shown the most promise is in the fight against malaria. Malaria is a life-threatening disease caused by a parasite that is transmitted through the bite of infected mosquitoes. According to the World Health Organization, malaria is one of the deadliest diseases in the world, claiming the lives of more than 400,000 people each year, mostly young children. The main reason why it is so difficult to find a cure for malaria is that the parasite that causes the disease has developed resistance to many of the drugs that have been used to treat it. But researchers are optimistic that Ivermectin could be the answer they've been looking for. A study published in the journal Nature Chemical Biology showed that Ivermectin stops the growth of the malaria parasite in mosquitoes, potentially reducing the number of parasites that are transmitted to humans. This breakthrough led to calls for further research to be conducted on the use of Ivermectin as a new weapon in the fight against malaria. So how exactly does Ivermectin work against malaria? Well, when a mosquito bites someone who has taken Ivermectin, the drug enters the mosquito's body and affects its nervous system. This causes the mosquito to die quickly. If the mosquito has ingested enough Ivermectin, it won't survive long enough to lay its eggs, which means that the life cycle of the malaria parasite is broken and the disease cannot spread. Researchers are now studying the possibility of using Ivermectin to treat other mosquito-borne diseases, such as Zika virus, dengue fever, and chikungunya virus. The results so far have been promising. Some people are even calling for ivermectin to be given to pregnant women living in areas where malaria is common to prevent the disease from being passed on to their babies. Malaria can have serious consequences for pregnant women and their babies. It can cause miscarriages, stillbirths, and low birth weight, as well as increase the risk of infant mortality. If ivermectin is found to be effective in preventing malaria in pregnant women, it could save countless lives. Now, there are some challenges that need to be overcome before ivermectin can be used to combat mosquito-borne diseases. One of the main concerns is that mosquitoes may develop resistance to the drug, just like they have developed resistance to other anti-malaria drugs. However, researchers are confident that this problem can be solved by using a combination of different drugs. Another concern is that ivermectin can cause side effects such as dizziness, nausea, and headaches. However, these side effects are usually mild and go away on their own. Despite these challenges, the potential benefits of using ivermectin to treat parasitic infections and mosquito-borne diseases are too great to ignore. Researchers are continuing to study the drug and its uses, and it is possible that in the near future, ivermectin will be considered a true miracle drug. As Dr. Alan J. Maggs, director of the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine in the United Kingdom, put it, ivermectin has the potential to transform the way we control deadly infectious diseases. It is a drug that could save countless lives and alleviate suffering for millions more. And again, I want to remind you that ivermectin is not a cure for COVID-19. However, ivermectin's ability to save lives by treating parasitic infections and mosquito-borne diseases makes it an incredibly valuable tool in the fight against global poverty and disease. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think of ivermectin? Do you think it should be used to treat COVID-19? Or do you think it's a miracle drug because of its anti-parasitic properties? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so that way you never miss out on any of our future videos. Also, be sure to check out this video over here that YouTube thinks you should watch. But as always, thanks for watching and stay healthy.